Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Despite Your Directions. I'm here with Michael, as always. Hello.
Is it directions or direction? I never remember.
I think it's directions. I'm
Let's
pretty
go
sure
with
it's plural.
directions.
But if you say it fast, then no one can tell the difference anyway.
Direction. Yeah, that's fine.
Directions.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael Howard, semi-professional comedian. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are, still fumbling over the name of our own show.
Yep. Our third guest, Craig, still hasn't said anything, but that's fine.
He does. He says something at the start, but he's always very quiet, and I edit it out.
What's that, Craig?
Help me! They're holding me captive. So guess what?
Sorry, I'm trying to get over the fact that you just did that impression.
All right, yeah.
I mean, Craig. I'm over the fact that Craig just spoke for the first time.
This is a big moment. Yeah, what are you on about?
Why did Craig sound slightly like a? I didn't realize Craig sounded a bit like a chimney sweep. What's going on?
I sound a bit like Dobby.
Craig is a free elf.
It's fine. I've been watching those for the first time recently.
You actually watched Harry Potter? Okay, firstly, right. Kieran has never seen Harry Potter, and it really upsets me because I have so many memes, and I send him, and I'm like quoting loads of stuff, and he never gets it, and it always pisses me off. What have you been watching? I can't believe you just said it. That sounds like Dobby. What? How did I miss that? Which ones have you been watching?
Well, I am up to the Deathly Hallows Part 1. I finished it like Part 1 last week. I haven't watched Part 2 yet.
Oh, Part 1's great. I love Part 1. Part 1's probably my second favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Other
It's
than
a weird one.
Okay, so there are great moments in each of them. This is not going to be a Harry Potter podcast, by the way. Don't worry. We're just going to get into it. But the best moment of the fourth of like, so like in the first two, they're like sort of upbeat, happy films, and then in the third and the fourth, they're kind of like slightly teenage angsty.
Yes.
And then fifth, sixth, and seventh and eighth, they're probably all quite dark and
grey
they're kind of dark grey. Dursley gets sucked up by something or another. What are they called? Dementor? Yeah, that's it.
That was the porn version.
Oh, sucked you up by. I'll suck out yourself, baby. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, no, there's a great moment in the fourth one, which is probably my favorite moment in the whole of Harry Potter, when when Harry gets selected to be in the Triwizard Tournament, and Dumbledore for some reason pushes him up against the cabinet. It's been done 1,000 times, and he's all like, "Harry, why did you push everything on the phone?" Honestly, I'm sure I've told you the story. I've been mugged, and it honestly wasn't as scary as that experience of watching Dumbledore push Harry up against that thing.
Oh, you know the piece of trivia about that line?
Go.
I'm sure you do, being a bigger fan than me. But
Yeah.
in the book, that line was written as like, "said Dumbledore calmly" or something like that. And then in the film, yeah, he flips his lid.
It's like good cop, bad cop. It's such a weird scene. That's such a weird scene. Also, like, that cabinet doesn't look sturdy. Oh.
Yeah, well, I find the whole weird thing about it. It's called the Triwizard Cup, right? And there's 4 of them.
Yeah, but no, originally they're only supposed to be one nominee from each school.
Yeah, I know, but like surely as soon as their fourth
Well, so
contestant
they want to. Okay, so they're just like, okay, we'll just change this to the Quad Wizard Tournament.
why don't they change the name? Or surely
the Quad Wizard Cup.
If a fourth person's entered, it should be void, right? Like, imagine the World Cup in football, right? And they're just like,
yeah, it's just chucking another person in the group. Yeah, that's fine.
Kazakhstan suddenly just snuck into the group or something. You're like, no, Kazakhstan, you don't play.
Kazakhstan, why did you put your name in the goblet?
You're not ready to play with these men. You'll be destroyed. It doesn't make sense.
Fifth one's the best one for me. Oh, maybe the sixth one. I really like the fifth and the sixth one. They're really fun.
I get the names mixed up.
Fifth one is Order of the Phoenix. Sixth one is Buffalo Prince. Yeah.
All right.
So I have a really I don't know if you can hear. I have a really creaky chair.
That's fine. So do I. I just try and sit dead still for the entirety of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not. You know me, though. I'm a fidgeter.
Fidgety, nervous.
Fidgety. Well, I can't. Sorry. What have you thought of them? Have you enjoyed them?
Yeah.
Something that you didn't watch in childhood, and yet.
Well, I watched the first one, as we know. I did watch
I'm going to make a thumbnail as Harry Potter.
Well, we can't. This isn't the Harry Potter podcast. I don't even.
I know, but Maybe another time. We'll do the Harry Potter films in another podcast.
Okay, well, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna cuckold you on now. I'm not even gonna give you my opinion on them. I'm just gonna leave
Oh
it.
no, no! Oh no! I'll find out. I'll find out off air viewers. You'll have to wait.
I'm not gonna tell you anything. And in fact, probably by the time we could do a Harry Potter podcast maybe, and I'll watch part two. Which,
Yeah,
by
you
the
gotta
way,
watch part
another
two.
thing, I do not agree with splitting films into two parts. But
They did it. You know, they were originally going to do it with the fourth one.
oh really?
Like, yeah, and I'm just like, thank God they didn't. Because where's the logical endpoint in the fourth part one? Where would you end it?
What was the
After the
fourth?
the Quidditch World Cup?
Oh,
Extend that out.
the Quidditch World Cup was a bizarre scene, I
That is
must admit.
the worst part for me. I remember being in the cinema watching it and being like, "Oh my God, we're going to see professional Quidditch! I'm so excited!" And then it just ends, and you're like, "Great!"
And
And then
oh look, it's the
they're singing about
Romanians.
how it's Bulgarian and
Oh,
how
Bulgaria.
they oh no. Honestly, if I wasn't in LA, I'd call you a Brexit racist. Honestly,
Oh
these
dear.
bloody Romanian Quidditch players. There's a comedy skit in there.
Yeah.
But like, no, and they're just singing about Victor Crumb afterwards. You're just like, oh, great. Also, it's
Yeah.
kind of a weird film, that film, because it kind of sexualizes Hermione, who's only like 13 at the time.
Well,
Weird.
yeah, probably. Have you heard that Frankie Boyle line
Uh
about about
oh.
Hermione? And he's just
What
talking
is
about
it?
like people who are watching Harry Potter just to check on how Hermione's getting on or whatever. It's just like, oh, just to see how she's getting on. I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
When was this film? Check the IMDb. No.
Oh, 2012. Uh oh. No.
Uh-oh.
What was I going to say? Um, yeah, I remember in the Honest trailer, it was like, you know, when they go, they do like the names of the actors, but they do a joke one. They did
Yeah.
Hermione as my first erection.
Well, that's
Not
fine
okay.
if you're
Definitely
watching it
not
when
okay.
if you're watching it when you were 12, right? It makes sense.
Yeah, I was always younger than Emma Watson, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, it's true. Yeah, because well, she's like fucking like
I
30
actually
now.
remember. I remember like my older cousin when you know there's that scene where Hermione comes down in the dress in the fourth film, and like she's
Yeah.
looking stunning and all that. And I was like 12 at the time, and I remember being like, "Wow, that girl is fit." You know, but back when I was 12, don't take that out of context, internet.
Yeah. No, I can
And my
understand.
cousin was like roasting me, being like, "Oh, you fancy a child?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
When
because
I
I'm a
was a
child.
child.
I'm a child. I'm 12. She's like 16."
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
anything, it makes Hermione the nonce. Anyway, let's move on from Harry Potter. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but we'll await your reviews of them. Because
Yeah.
I'd be well interested because so many people grew up with it as a child, but as a full adult, just to see it because adults love it as well. So I'd be interested to see what you thought.
It's a different perspective rather than
Yeah.
watching them like yearly as you grow up
Oh,
and that
so good.
anticipation of when you're that age and you kind of grow up with them, right? Probably was
Mm,
amazing for people of that kind of age.
it was
But
good. It was good.
yeah, to
I
watch
remember
them,
I remember asking my mum if we could go to Ollivander's.
yeah.
Yeah, I want a wand.
That does sound quite. To be fair, I wouldn't have minded that. Like yeah,
Mm.
that would have been fun.
But it's been a while since we podcasted, and there's a lot happened.
There's a lot happened. I wanted to be a bit kind of hotter on the gaming news because, as you say, a lot has happened. A few
But
big stories.
one of your boys, one of the members of the podcast, hasn't been showing up. I'm happy to admit that it was me. But we're back. We're
It's
back
fine.
now. I did
You're
offer to podcast last Friday, but Kieran had plans because he is a normal human being on a Friday night.
yeah,
Um,
of course. I
but
was
you know, I'm just living the LA life and got caught up with work. And yeah, I'm coming back from work after COVID. That dates this episode. So yeah, that's why I've been busy. But we will be back, and we are here now for podcasting.
right. Thanks for getting your excuse publicly out there. Do you feel
Do you know
better?
what? I didn't want an excuse. It was an apology, sort of.
Didn't sound like an apology.
Okay,
Has anyone
well,
ever told you you're bad at
I'm
apologizing?
sorry that you're so mad at me. There you go.
Oh, that's my favorite kind of apology. But yeah,
I am sorry. I am generally sorry.
I feel like
Let's podcast though.
yes, right. Let's get. I'm going to steer us back in track as the only professional one out of the two of us.
Get back on our direction, scenes.
Great, perfect. But I feel like every other podcast I mention how like, oh, I'm not going to do any talk anymore about gaming. You know, I'm overloading you with gaming. I think, well, fuck it. Lots has happened in
We're
the world
back
of
on it.
gaming.
We're back
I
on it,
like
baby.
I like talking about it. let's face it, I share this with my friends who are also gamers. They're not going to complain. So,
Of
but as I
course.
said, I wanted to be a bit more kind of faster on the news. As everybody knows, PS5 has kind of had their like launch conference thing, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
They had
Well,
they
yeah,
displayed all their
sort of.
they displayed all their games, right?
Hmm.
They announced like a bunch of games, and there's been lots of news on the specs and release dates and prices and that kind of thing. And I just thought it'd be interesting to go through a bunch of that. So I don't know how much you know, Michael.
I
Do
watched
you know?
I watched the launch video, but probably from like halfway through.
Yeah, and it was like what, like a good like week or two ago now. So do you know how
Yeah.
much
It
it's
was
going to
definitely more than 2 weeks. It was definitely more than a week ago.
time flies? At least 2 weeks ago. Do you know how much it's rumored to cost in the UK?
I've heard figures about 499 is what I've heard.
I'm looking now. 449 is pounds is how much they're going for. $499. Uh,
I mean, what do you reckon of that? Do you know I actually found out this week. I got my PS4 for £204
did
in
you get it on release?
2016. No, I got it in
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
But I was still pretty happy with that drop price because when it released, God knows how much it cost then, maybe like 410.
It's funny. I got my PS4 in CEX. The second
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, of course. For those that are, for our English viewers, you know what that is. But
Yeah,
for
of course.
our foreign viewers, oh no, I shouldn't say foreign. Our worldwide viewers, we it's like a Best Buy or a Walmart.
The second hand store, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I got mine. Yeah, so I got mine in CEX as second hand. But basically, what people were doing at the time, this was like very close to the PS4's launch, is that CEX were offering such a high trade-in price that people were buying PS4s and then selling them to CEX for profit.
Wow, that's
So
insane.
they had like a surplus amount of PS4s because they had such a good price for whatever reason that
Mm.
yeah, people were just selling to them for profit.
So were they making losses on those PlayStation 4s?
No, because and then they were selling them on as for a higher
Oh,
price as
right.
well. Obviously, people like so obviously for me to justify buying a PS4 secondhand from them for such a price,
Mm.
I bought an Xbox One.
Oh, did you? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
yes, not many people know this. Um,
You went to the dark side.
yeah,
Both me and
um,
Kieran are PlayStation guys.
yeah, I am now. Well, I was an Xbox 360 guy first,
Mm.
uh,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
traded in my Xbox One that I briefly had for like a like a week or something.
Did you literally only have for a week?
Something like that. I didn't have it for long. I played you probably don't even know the game. It's called Rise, Son of Rome.
No.
Um, which is like a tech demo-y kind of just basically just like, look how pretty the Xbox looks. It was really
Yeah,
crap. It looked stunning, like absolutely
yeah.
amazing. It was set in like ancient Rome.
But it's
Like
like an
every
E3 thing.
yeah, every like bit
Yeah.
of like his like armor was like glistening and amazing. Like, but it was just like button like sequence
So how
pressing.
much? Did you buy the Xbox One new
I think so.
and then you sold it to
And I sold
CEX?
it to CX and bought, and then with the install credit, I bought a PS4.
But I bet you made a loss slightly, did you?
Yes, I did make a
But not as
loss,
much, not terribly.
but yeah, because their trading prices were so good, it
Yeah,
made
it
sense
wasn't
for
that
me to
bad.
do it. It was
Okay.
okay. I could experience a bit of the Xbox One, see what it was about, trade it in, get a PS4. I don't
Yeah,
really
and you
know
never
what
look
my
back.
I don't really know what my thinking was really, because I think most of my mates are
I
getting
just
it.
don't understand why you didn't buy a PS4 new.
Yeah, I should have done.
Well, I guess at the time you probably thought it was cheaper, but then you find out later, right?
Well, the thing is, you get more money for getting in-store credit rather than if you get cash from CX,
Oh,
then you get
right.
less money.
Yeah, yeah,
So it
yeah.
made sense to buy in-store credit with them. And as I say, most of them were buying PS4s and selling them brand new to them for profit. So
Mhm.
it was a brand new PlayStation. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
get the warranty, but who cares? Most people breach their warranty anyway, so who cares? But I don't
So
know why
anyway,
I I
let's go
gave you
back
that
to the
story.
let's go back to the PS5.
449 pounds. Do you like it?
Would you
Do
get
you
one new?
um I think I would, but I'm not a very good at kind of example of a smart consumer. I think I would
Well, I
get
mean, from that story, yeah.
I think I would get a PS5 new just because I want one, to be honest. And like
So
the
here's
thing,
I had this discussion with someone at work this week, and I
yeah,
was like, in the future, when the next like realistically, when do you reckon the next generation is going to be? Another eight, 9
PS6.
years? Huh?
What PlayStation 6 are we
Yeah,
thinking?
we're looking probably 8 or 9 years
Average
away.
lifespan is about that. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, so by then I'm gonna be what, like 23.
Fuck off.
I'll be what? Okay, this will tell you
I'll be
my
about
age. I'll be in my 30s at that
Yes,
point,
you will. You will be
and
comfortably in your 30s.
I will comfortably be in my 30s. And so I think that I'll probably have some kind of mortgage. I might have more responsibility. So to buy a console new, that will be probably around 450, £500. That's kind of a big investment for the month. But I could be
Mm.
earning more, but I don't know that. So at
The
the moment,
industry
I'm in
you're
a
in, man.
comfortable position. I
Go
have the
on.
money for it, so I could buy it new. That's my thinking.
Yeah. Can I just highlight that
And
you think you'll be earning more money when you're 30s? I
I
I
hope
think that's
so.
very no, that's very optimistic, man. I think you're gonna be
I'll be
yeah,
down.
still.
If
Yeah.
anything, I'll be giving money away.
Please, I just want to work in the film industry. Please let him have my money.
Yeah, well, Hollywood's a tough place, but I'm doing my best.
Nah, I'm sure you'll be fucking directed by that point.
Honestly, if I was on like if I was on a sort of massive salary, also I
You'd
probably won't
buy
be.
both.
I'll be a director of porn films. But there's good money in there. But like if I'm on like decent salary, yeah, I probably would buy one new. But I don't know whether this is going to be my only shot over the
Yeah.
next 20 years where I could buy something new and justify it for
I
it
think right
being,
now you could totally justify it if you want it, but
because it's a weird thing to think about. But like if you bought that console, like for you especially because you're a bit older than me,
huh?
yeah, but but if you bought that console new,
Yeah.
when the next generation, I mean, you might have kids that will be their first console.
Oh no, I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, you see, it's weird, isn't it?
Oh
So
no.
see, the thing I'm doing is
So I
I'm keeping my PlayStation 2, and I want my child to have the same journey I had.
really? Do
But
you reckon you're gonna force them?
rather than wait a year, I'm just going to bump up to PS3, then I'll bump up to PS4,
You're
then
gonna force
PS5.
them to play the PS2? Be like, this is what I
I
have
don't
to do.
make him play. Well, I'll play. I'll play. I want him to play the same first game that I played.
What was the first game?
So it was a pool game, I think.
Great. Wow, they your kids are in for a treat.
They are. They legit. I can actually see on my PlayStation game. Shark Tale, the PlayStation 2 game. That was one of my first ones.
Have you got them in front of you?
I have. I can see them on my shelf in the corner. Obviously, because I moved all my PlayStation stuff to here in LA when I moved.
Oh, of course.
Uh, I've got on the Harry Potter games.
I played one of the Harry Potter games, you know. I never watched the films, but I played the game.
Which one did you play? We're back on Harry Potter.
I don't know. Harry Potter was on the front. He looked kind of young and smug at the time. I can't
Was
remember.
it Chamber of Secrets?
It might have been, yeah.
Oh, I love Chamber of Secrets. I played that over and over again.
I have very vague memories of it. It was quite fun. I remember chocolate frogs and like, yeah.
Expelliarmus is all I remember of that game.
So yeah,
Tago, whatever it was, I can't remember. But
I think we're in agreement that I think justifying the price of a brand new PlayStation 5 is certainly context based on your current circumstances, all right?
well, for me, so here's the biggest issue, right, for the PlayStation 5. We'll get into it, I'm certain, but or maybe I should leave it till the end. Let's get into the games. I reckon that we should talk about. We should talk about what's going to launch with the PS5, like what
Okay.
games were revealed in those trailers. I have a
Yeah,
list. Should we just do like a top,
I
like the
haven't
ones I think
prepared.
will be
You're as
interesting? Shall I just
prepared as
read the
I
ones
am.
I?
I'm not comfortable with this. I'm the one with the list.
Shall I just read the ones I think you will be interested in
Yeah,
that were
I've got like
announced?
I've got a big ass list in front of me too. So let's go for it.
Let's start with the obvious one. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales.
That was my most anticipated.
Yeah, of all of
100%.
them. Oh, do you want to leave that one till last then, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. You know, I'm looking at this is in front of me now. There's some real lame ass. Okay, can I go through some of the lame ones?
Yeah, go. What? Just read them off. We won't talk about. Just read them off, the lame ones.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of inevitable. PlayStation. What's going on? Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
What, for real? Is it launching on the PS5?
Yes,
Jesus Christ!
and I've got some opinions on that.
I saw a parody YouTube video of that where like the guy had aged up Michael in the video and redone the GTA 5 trailer for the PS60 or something. It was
They
well funny.
should. They should make him like really old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one, Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Okay,
Um,
that was like my nickname at school. Let's move on.
Sackboy.
No, was it?
I don't want to know why. You were in an all boys school as well, so that's
Sad times. Anyway, go on.
um. To be honest, I don't know enough about a lot of the others to really say that I don't care
Well,
about.
I'm looking at some of the lists here.
Some of them I just don't know.
Destiny 2 is going to launch on PS5. Game's been
Oh
out for
my god.
years. Why would you buy that?
Rainbow Six Siege is on this list apparently. 2020.
Yeah, that's obviously that's going to launch. NBA 2K21. Yep, great.
Yeah, of
Cool.
course.
Um, again though, let's talk about the ones we're actually excited
Let's
by.
go because I want to. Yeah, let's
Like
unpack
there's a game here launching in 2021 called Lord of the Rings Golem.
Is
Like,
there
yeah.
Gollum?
What is this
You get to
game?
play the
There's
Gollum.
a PS5 game with Gollum.
Is it called Lord of the Rings Gollum?
It's literally called Lord of the Rings Golem. That's what it's called.
Oh, here we go. I'm having a look now. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Release
what is
rate
that game going to be?
2021.
What are you going to do? Bite fingers of hobbits? What's the
There's a little
kind of
bit of
games?
gameplay actually for it already.
Does it look bad?
Well, unless I can't say.
I
I
found
can.
Sackboy, by the way.
You found Sackboy. It's the Little Big Planet person, but I've never been a fan of that series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not
Okay.
for any other
Well,
reason other than
so
just
okay, let's get
animation.
into the first one that I think we'd both be interested in. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, yeah, that was one
Now,
that sticking out for me.
I've not played an Assassin's Creed probably since the one in France, and I
Yeah,
hated that game.
was it?
I
That was a bad one.
hated it.
The
I
best thing
hated the
about that
sword
game
fighting
was the
mechanic.
glitches.
Yeah, I hated the sword fighting mechanics. I didn't care about the character. I was just like, I'm so bored of this franchise.
Do you want to know
But
something funny about when I was playing through that? I think it's Unity, the French one.
yeah,
Because Syndicate's the London one, isn't it? Yeah.
you said it was
Is
other, yeah.
is that yeah? I because you see all these crazy like face melting glitches and whatever, and I think, well, that's
Mm.
not gonna, that's not gonna happen to me. And I had one where I got right towards the end of the game, and there was in this boss battle. It was like raining, and I was on this rooftop fighting this boss. And it's one of those ones where you have to like you chip away at the health, and then you get a cutscene. You
Uh,
chip away at the health, get a cutscene. Right, standard shit.
uh,
But mine, I was fighting them, and they had this big ass health bar or something, whatever it was. The fight was meant to go on for a long while, and I hit them with my sword, and it glitched inside them, and it just whacked their health down to 0, and I just like fast track the boss battle. And that
I
was
mean, if anything, it sounds like a relief.
yeah, it was a relief. Yeah, I was like, well, that's fine with
I
me.
just, I just hated it. I just hated the mechanic. I hated it. I just didn't like it. But I've heard that the new ones are really, really good.
I can confirm. So I played Origins, which is obviously the Egyptian one. I played
Yeah,
Odyssey,
Odyssey
which
is meant to be
is
amazing, is what I've
ancient
heard.
Greece. They're both very
Yeah.
good. They're both very similar games, but
Okay.
Odyssey really builds on the kind of new features of Origins. So Origins is a real turning point in the Assassin's Creed franchise, where they turn it into much more RPG style kind of game.
Okay. Like a sort of
Um,
Red Dead style thing.
no, like really like about looting and leveling up and getting abilities and that kind of thing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
proper
Okay.
like RPG
Big step for
style.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, like proper RPG style, and they
Yeah.
changed the combat is very much like everyone has a health bar, and it's very kind of like I don't want to say hack and slash, but like the
Division
combat's very
2.
different. Somewhat, I suppose. But obviously with less guns.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you obviously you can kind of upgrade like certain abilities, like your kind of stealth
Okay.
abilities or
Okay.
yeah, etc.
Okay.
etc. But it's good, and the maps are massive, and there's like side quests and main quests, and you level up, and you have to be certain level to do that quest, and it's really good fun. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think Valhalla might be the one that gets me back into it.
yeah. If it's
I
anything
generally
like
think,
what Odyssey was, if it's
yeah.
building on those same things, I think you would really enjoy it because I think they've really like kept this series fresh because it's a very long franchise, right?
Mm,
I think they're really keeping it fresh. Actually, the last two have actually surprised me.
okay. I mean, I do think I'll get Valhalla when it's cheaper, but it
Yeah,
will be. But I haven't played any of the others, so like it will be the game that I don't know why it will bring me back, but
I
it
would
just looked. I think it just looked great, and I
I
just
would
saw it and I was just like
recommend
this.
picking up
Also,
Odyssey.
man, there's probably been talked to death on the internet, but I was pretty certain that that was Ezio in the corner.
I think I heard saw people in the comments saying that because it was like some hooded guy like leaning against a tree or something.
Yeah, and I was like,
Um,
that looks like Ezio.
wasn't it like some kind of like god, like Thor or something? Like it was
Yeah,
like
probably it
watching
probably
a
is one of
battle.
those, but
I think it was
I'm
something
gonna
like
pretend. I'm gonna pretend and go into the game hoping that it was Ezio and hope to avoid spoilers.
that. I don't. I mean,
Okay,
like
so we did Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're both on board for that. Sounds exciting.
yeah,
I
definitely,
think it will
definitely.
launch on PS4 as well, though. I'm
If
not
they
sure.
if they do a lot of the ship mechanics as well. I don't know if you played Assassin's Creed Black
Oh,
Flag.
of course I did. That was a
So
fun game. I enjoyed that
they
game.
brought those ship mechanics back for
Odyssey.
yeah, for Odyssey, which
Oh,
is why I'd
sweet.
recommend you playing Odyssey actually, because you probably get it quite cheap now, or
Yeah, I might
cheaper.
actually. Yeah, I might
I would
jump on it.
100% recommend it because they have the map is massive,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of like ship mechanics, and the RPG mechanics of the game feed into the ship, so you can upgrade your ship and your crew as well as yourself. So the RPG mechanics
Oh,
also
we
feed
like that.
into the ship. There's so much to invest in.
Just to go back into Black Flag, yeah. I
Yeah.
found like a glitch with Black Flag where if you like sail, you know those big galleons, like the really tough boss battle ones.
Yes.
But like obviously they had like boss battle ones, but you also had like ones where that were just generally sailing around. And like as long as you didn't like fire on them or or like crash into them, they wouldn't attack you. So what I used to do was I used to like sail in front of it, swim to it, climb on board, kill everyone on board, and then you just jump back on your ship. You fire one cannon, and the galleon immediately falls.
Is it like sink
Yeah,
immediately?
no, it immediately just ends. Like immediately just went like, oh, okay, you've taken over. You've killed everyone. You've taken over the ship.
In a
It
way,
was sick.
yeah. I just say you kind of introduce that as a glitch, but I mean it's kind of realistic, right? If you're an assassin, you sneak onto the ship, kill everyone, like kind of saves you the trouble of doing the whole
Yeah, it
naval
was great. I didn't have to every time I would lose. So like, if I actually bought it, I would lose. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, because I really struggled with those like top tier like
Mm.
galleons. So I don't
Yeah,
think
but
I've ever done anything like
well,
that.
if you want to jump back on it, that's my advice.
Nah, I
Anyway,
can't say I do.
all right, the next one that I was excited for, but I'm not sure you will be.
Go on.
Resident Evil Village. I think it looks great.
Village.
I saw it and I was like, "What is
Mm,
this game?" And
survival
when it,
horror.
and I was like, "Wow, this is a really." Honestly, when I first saw it, I was just like, "Wow, this is cool." Like, I love how game developers are doing more survival horrors. Then I saw it was Resident Evil, and I was a bit like, "Oh my god, it's Resident Evil!" But then afterwards, I was like, "Of course, it's Resident Evil."
I can't
But
say I've played a Resident Evil game in years.
I mean, the new ones are actually pretty good. Like the one on the farm was pretty. This is a whole new Resident Evil game, isn't it? So like, rumored to be the last Resident Evil game.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I reckon it looks great. I love the setting. I love the werewolves. I was like, this is sick. This is everything that will terrify me. Of course, I
Well,
won't play it, and I'll only watch YouTubers play it. But like, I'll still enjoy watching that.
I think I mentioned actually that I played Resident Evil Biohazard, which is a
Mm.
very different experience. I played it in VR, to be fair, and
Oh Lord, you pee
that was
yourself.
a very, very, very well crafted experience. So
Why the
uh,
fuck would you play it in
I've
VR?
got a lot of time for Resident Evil because yeah, the last game that I played was very well executed.
Yeah.
So I guess it'll be more of the same good
Well,
stuff.
no. Say what you will about Resident Evil, they're the kings of survival horror.
Yeah, it's been about long enough. Again, it's something I know. I guess because I never really been one for horror, so it's something I've never really invested in myself. But I don't. So I don't really. I don't really have a bad word to say about it. Like I'm
For
sure
me,
it'll be
then
good.
those are more horror, but like I love the suspense of those games. Like when you're walking around, you're nervous as shit that you're gonna die. You know, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is fun. And
Spider-Man,
then I think I was gonna say Hitman,
Hitman.
but
Okay, yeah,
Hitman,
Hitman.
Hitman 3.
I played Hitman one. Well, not the original one. This is why I hate when games do this when they reboot their franchises and they don't
Yeah,
give it a name. Not Hitman 1 on the bloody PS2 or whatever it was. Hitman, whatever it was, 2015 or whenever it came out.
yeah,
I played that, and I played Hitman Blood Money, which is one of my absolute favorite games. I loved
yeah.
Hitman Blood Money back played on the 360, and it was so sandboxy and so creative that you could play the same level over and over again and
Hmm.
take out your target so many different ways, and it was so like open and ahead of its time. Um, I absolutely loved it. And then you had Hitman Absolution, which was like a third person shooter, and it was just so dumbed
Yeah.
down. I really didn't like it. but the new Hitman games that have been coming out recently have been old school, sandboxy, creative, fun.
I've seen
Just
Let's Plays of
yeah,
them. They look great. Yeah.
they're
No,
really good
I'm
fun.
excited for this, and I think I will get it.
Yeah, I haven't played Hitman 2 though, actually, but I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only gripe was that they released them as like a series of
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
little
they did
kind
it
of,
weird. Like, yeah.
but what I waited is for them all to be released and then released as one game. I just waited. I was like, I'm
Fair.
not. Yeah,
Fair.
I would not going to engage in buying them like piecemeal like that. I don't play
Yeah.
games like
Well,
that.
that's one I definitely thought stood out to me. I think I'll briefly mention it, but Horizon, what's Majigga? Don't care about it.
Horizon
Need to
Forbidden
play
West.
need to play the first game. I
This is
haven't
my
played them.
issue. Is
I've
that
heard they're good. I've heard they're fine, but when it was released as like the major title, I was like, is this like a major title thing?
mm,
But yeah,
I'm the same. I'm the same. Weirdly enough, is that I really like the look of the original
and it looks
Horizon
fun.
Zero Dawn, I think it's called. And it looks
Yeah.
great. I love the art style of it and the whole premise, like big robot dinosaurs and stuff. Like it looks cool. I would. I've been meaning to play it for so long, and I think it's going to look absolutely stunning on the PS5 because it's an exclusive, right? So, isn't it?
Hmm.
I think it's exclusive.
I'm not sure. Probably is. It probably will be considering that it was the PS5 launch title.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Uh, so it's going to look absolutely stunning. I want to play the first one again. We can't really say too much on it, but it looks great. I think we should both play at some point. That's my takeaway from that. But yeah, Spider-Man, come on, come on,
Oh yeah, we'll jump onto Spider-Man, the one we've all wanted to jump onto. I mean, look,
Miles Morales.
I'm super excited for it.
hmm
However, I know it's not going to be a full game.
This is the frustration for me. Yeah.
It will be a lost legacy, won't it?
Yes, that's what, because there was a bit of confusion, and then they kind of came out and said like, look, it's not like a small kind of game or whatever. It's going to be its own standalone game, kind of likened to Lost Legacy, which you've
Yeah,
played. You have a good
I
gauge
have. It is
of
good. It's good. Again,
like what that means in terms of scale for a game.
mm. Well, here, look, like Lost Legacy was what? It's probably about 6 to 7 hours of
Yeah,
gameplay. It's probably the greatest DLC game ever, I would
yeah.
say.
Well,
But
that's why it
that's
goes
ultimately all
beyond
it
that.
is. That's all it is. It's a big DLC.
Yeah. Well, that's why it
And
kind of released on its own.
well, for me, so here's what Miles Morales really did for me is I played all the Spider-Man DLCs. I bought the DLCs to Spider-Man on PS4 during lockdown and played those. And I understand now why that DLC isn't that good because they've obviously focused their efforts onto the Miles Morales one and they kind of done a small extension of their current game.
Oh,
But that's all it will be. It will just be an extension of the current game. And I'd much rather actually wait 4 years and then do a sort of Spider-Man Miles Morales game, you know, together, or just do its own Miles Morales standalone game by itself. I like how it's in the same universe, but I feel like it's not going to do it justice. Like, I think people
yeah,
really want it ever since Spider Verse and things. People would really love to see a Miles Morales game, and I
yeah.
feel like this will be maybe 10 hours, and it won't be amazing.
I think
I don't know.
they're selling themselves short. I think, yeah,
I
like
think so too. I think there's a market to you could market it, upgrade it, run it on the PS5 engine, and I think it could be a massive launch because I'm trying to think of what games launched for PS. What were the launch games for PS4? And you know, I think launching this as a 10-hour game for PS5 is kind of underselling it.
yeah, I think so. As you say, people want like the Spider-Man PS4 game was great. It was a solid game. It was exactly what people wanted, and as you
Mm.
say, I think people would be happy to play a Miles Morales game, with Into the Spider-Verse and that kind of thing, and just in general, I think like they kind of teased like some of his kind of different abilities and that kind of thing. Oh
Oh mate,
Jesus!
this will bring you back. I'm looking right now at so the
Sorry, a
PlayStation
bird
4
just
launched.
closed my window, scared the shit out of me.
Jesus Christ.
Bloody hell!
God, that guess he wants to be a guest on the podcast. Bloody hell.
Got a
It
bit
was
wind open
probably
as
bloody
well. Nearly blew into me.
Insomniac Games sent that bird.
How are you slagging us off?
Yeah.
Oof, my
I'm
God, I got a little
looking
shot of adrenaline there.
I'm looking fight or flight in that bird's case.
Yeah.
Splat. I'm looking at the games that launched with PS4 in 2013 right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look at now.
This will bring you back. Call of Duty Ghosts, Battlefield 4, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. These are the games that launched with PS4.
Oh shit, Black Flag, yeah.
FIFA 14,
Oh yeah.
that was one of the big ones. Killzone's Shadowfall. Like these aren't massive launches, are they? And I feel like
It wasn't that special, was it?
no, but I feel like Assassin's Creeds and your Call of Duties and your Battlefields, they're games that are turned around in like a year, aren't they, or 2 years? They're
Yeah.
made in, and I think that that Spider-Man game, I think, was announced in 2016 and released in 2018. So at least it's been working on since 2015. So that's at least 3 years. I say just give it 3 years, make the full game. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the Miles Morales thing. But I reckon they're probably going to work on they want to launch another Spider-Man game for PS5, just normal Spider-Man again, Spider-Man 2, I guess. So we'll
Really?
go. Yeah, I don't think they'll do a Miles
Well,
Morales.
yeah. Well, this might just be kind of like just keeping us ticking over until they
Yeah,
make
I think it's
another
it's a
one
ticking
later.
over slash. We're not going to put all our resources into. We haven't got time to put our resources into this because I guess I reckon that it's most likely that this Miles Morales game was going to be only going to get greenlit after the success of the first one, whether that was going to take off, whether people wanted to see that.
Yeah.
And obviously they did. And so imagine that was September 2018 that game came out. So a year and a bit to turn around a full game, it's not going to happen, is it? So, but a year and a bit to turn around a 10-hour game, yeah, it could happen. So that's all it will be. But I wonder if it's going to be as expensive. That's the thing I want to know. Is it going to be? Are they going to launch it with a 50 quid or $60
Well,
launch?
that was one of my concerns, right? Because like they've already admitted that this isn't a full game as such. So
No.
how could you justify full price? But
Mm.
with the way pricing of games are going, it's probably regardless is going to be expensive, right? Because I wouldn't like to think how much like these games are going to cost
I'm terrified.
standard
That's
anyway.
that's the terrifying. And for me, again, with the PS5 launch, like when I can play, I can play PS4 games on PS5.
Yeah.
Well, I can also play them on my PS4. So why would I buy the PS5? No,
Well,
that's the
yeah,
issue I have with it so far. So.
but they would surely struggle to justify like whatever full price is going to be on that game.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
But we shall see
We
on
shall
that.
see. I am excited for it though. I'm looking forward to its launch, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I think it'll be a snap decision on the day for me whether I'll buy it brand new or not.
I might probably won't buy it on the day, but I'll the temptation will
Around launch time though, before
it'll creep
Christmas. Let's call it
into
before
maybe a
Christmas.
buy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Mm.
Can I talk about Grand Theft Auto 5?
Go for it.
Because I was surprised you didn't know
I
that it
assumed
was
it would. I
being launched.
assumed it would, and I guess Red Dead 2 as well probably going to PS5. That makes sense to me.
I haven't heard them say anything about Red Dead. I'd be surprised
That's interesting. That's
because
so
I don't know
interesting.
how big the online is for Red Dead compared to, I think the GTA Online community is still
It's
probably
massive.
larger
I
than
actually
Red Dead.
found out one of my mates has joined a GTA 5 role playing server.
Really?
So like they have like the like normal rules of life, and like people are like people are like traffic wardens, or like if you get caught going a red light and one of the designated police officers sees you, get a fine. Like it's the level of detail is insane, and I love that people take that as a game, a game that came out in 2013, and still people love that. It's something kind of nice and special. Like that game is so. I mean, that game is still so popular, and it's 7 years later. You
Yeah.
know.
The only thing that frustrates me is like, okay, fair enough. So we had it on the 360 and the
Hmm.
PlayStation 3,
Yeah.
and that kind of came up towards the end of their life cycle, that console thing. Fair enough. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll remaster it for the next gen PS4,
Yeah.
Xbox One, right? That I can understand why you would do that. And then it's existed all throughout the lifespan of the
The
PS4
lifespan,
and
literally
literally
the entire lifespan.
the
Yeah.
whole of that generation, and now it's now being introduced as a remaster of a remaster on the PS5. I mean, that for me, like,
It's insane.
is is a bit ridiculous. Like, don't you want GTA 6? I
Yeah,
know I
I
do.
guess, but I guess they are working on it, and they did Red Dead in between, and those games take they. I mean, that's the thing about Rockstar is they you wait a long time, but they'll produce a fucking good game at the end of it. Like 5 years, I think. Let's say what year did Red Dead come out? 2018.
Maybe, yeah,
So they spent 5 years on getting Red Dead ready.
yeah.
So probably longer. They probably started developing Red Dead 2 whilst they were finishing GTA 5. So
Well, you hope, right? There's been no real kind of solid
I mean,
information as
like,
to whether GTA 6 is even in development or whether they're just happy milking
it almost
GTA 5.
definitely is. It's 100% development.
Well, you'd think that they're doing something with it, yeah. But
I reckon they're doing. I reckon they're doing something, and I reckon. But it's too. I think it's in development, but it's too early to talk about its launch yet. Like, if you go off the basis that each game takes 5 years, you know, we're only 2 years after Red Dead, less than that, probably a year and a half after Red Dead. They're not
but they're
gonna.
different.
I think they announced Red Dead in like 2015, 2016.
But the studio
So
that makes Red Dead isn't they separate the studios, so that
yeah,
that also makes
but as their
GTA.
title, but
So
it's the same. But it's the same title, isn't it? Like, like in the sense that, like, they'll have a brand structure going of, okay, we do this, then we do that, then we do this.
but look at you have to admit the releases. If you look at the release dates between GTA 4 and GTA 5 is much
Which
narrower.
how long? What was the difference there?
Um
3 or 4 years, maybe.
Not sure. I'm gonna have a look now.
But basically, for me, like, you got to bear in mind that I reckon that GTA 6 won't probably come to at least the end of 2022, and even then, that's ridiculous. That's 10 years of GTA 5.
Yeah, I'm not
GA
I'm not
GA 6 going to be have to
expecting.
be GTA 6 have to be an absolutely banging game, doesn't it?
Well, this is what I'm thinking is you can making us wait all this time, then you got to be producing something mental.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Because, well, looking obviously this is Rockstar published games, not developed. Looking at this list, but
GTA 6, the game in which you go on a small map in small corridors.
oh no,
Uh,
what have we got here? So we're going back. So obviously GTA San Andreas was 2004, and then they obviously released stuff like Liberty City Stories and that kind of thing. But like, I'm
oh, I
not
played that on
really
PSP. Loved
and
it.
like Vice City Stories 2006, but I'm not so fussed about that. So it's 2004, and then GTA 4 was 2008. So that's a 4-year gap, and then obviously then you had all the different kind of IPs in between, like Chinatown Wars and all that crap. Um, you had episodes from Liberty City in 2009, which obviously was two rather big story expansions.
Yeah.
And then 2010 was Red Dead Redemption.
hmm
So that's what, two
And
years
then
later.
2013 would have been GTA 5.
And then yeah, 2013, as you say, was GTA 5. So it's a much faster turnaround
Mm.
um, of games. But yeah, I guess I think my pessimism is just saying that it's just they're making too much money on GTA 5 Online to really care about pushing a release.
I mean, I kind
But
of see it. Like, it's interesting, isn't it? Like, I mean, I still follow GTA 5 when I jump on it, but it'd be good to have something new and just,
yeah, I agree. I always get like a kick out of playing GTA 5, so which is
yeah.
quite incredible considering I've been playing it since 2013.
Mm.
But so yeah, I just don't get me wrong. I love the game, but like I'm greedy. I want another one.
We do, and I think Rockstar kind of motor fans. Like, they put so much loyalty in. I mean, that game must have made at least $2 or $3 billion right now, surely, at least.
Yeah, it's constantly and it's still you look at like if you go on the PlayStation marketplace and look at like most downloaded games for that
Yeah,
month,
it'll be
it's
GTA
always
5.
it's always on there. It's always on that like top
Mm.
whatever top 5, top 10 or what. It's always most downloaded. Like people are constantly buying it. Like it's
Oh
crazy.
well,
It's crazy.
popular
Like you,
shit.
yeah, I saw
Yeah.
like an interesting story of someone was doing like a heist with like someone who like online. It turned out they were like 12 years old or something.
Oh, lol, okay, yeah. Yeah. So they would have been like, what, 2 when the game came out?
Yeah, it's that
That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, and obviously, don't let 12-year-olds play GTA ideally,
No,
but
it's an 18 rated game.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I was playing like GTA Vice City when I was like, I don't know, I was too young. But
Mm.
you know, I mean, I'm not a psychopath, but like, yeah, probably not the best thing to be doing. But it's fine. We all played games when we shouldn't have done. It's all part of growing up, right?
Yeah.
Is there any more games that you were kind of interested in highlighting, or I think
No, I think that's pretty much it.
yeah,
Do you want to wrap it? Should we wrap it up for a
I think
podcast
so.
there?
Yeah,
There
I
was a
think
good podcast up in there. I mean, obviously people want us to talk about The Last of Us 2. I
I think
played it in depth, but we'll do it on another podcast, I think. And
yeah,
Harry
I think
Potter.
so. Yeah. Well, I had obviously I kind of originally had planned to talk about PlayStation and The Last of Us, but in the end, actually, there's so many interesting games to kind of get
Yeah,
stuck
just to
into.
just
So
get your teeth into.
yeah, just get 'em right in there. So I think
Yeah.
yeah, we'll save The Last of Us 2. Uh,
I have played it, by the way.
I haven't played it, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and honestly, you'll have to tune in to hear my expert review. I'm pretty sure the whole world's been waiting for my review.
That's it.
Obviously, as the world leading expert
We got two anticipated opinions here. We got my opinion on the Harry
on
Potter
Harry Potter,
franchise,
and then
and
you
your
got
opinion.
my on The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, to be honest, I really want to hear Kieran's opinion on Harry Potter, but so I might do that one first. But we'll jump back on The Last of Us.
Well, I don't know how much I got to say about it, so maybe we can combine the two.
Oh,
We'll see.
maybe
As always,
Harry versus Ellie, who will win in a fight.
true. Yeah.
Harry.
Well, one of them's got a 9mm pistol, and the other's got a
Harry's
wand.
definitely going to win.
Do you think?
I guess if Harry didn't get if Eddie got the jump on Harry, then maybe not. But I'm pretty sure Harry's going to just Avada Kedavra and that's it.
Hate the name of that spell.
Oh, same. Anyway, let's wrap the podcast up. And as I always will end on the old theme tune.
Come on then, let's hear it. Oh, that sounded good. Let's hear one more. Oh, great. That'll do. That's beautiful. Okay,
Perfectly Harry Potter. All right, your mum's is hot.
grab that Harry Potter, guys.
Oh no! Don't rip up on the podcast. Not
Oh,
now.
sorry.
We'll have to make our own one.
Come on.
Oh wait.
Oh, perfect.
There it is.
That is your
All
catchphrase.
right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye bye.